All right. I'm joined here with Scott. Scott, how do you say your last name?
Sidoryk.
Sidoryk. Yes, Scott. So for those of you who don't know, my business partner and I, Chase, bought the Valpak direct mail franchise for Alaska just recently. About a month ago? November. And Scott is here from home base, HQ, and helping us out, just learning the ropes and getting us to know the products and meeting with some clients. And I appreciate you being here, Scott. And I thought it would be a great time to bring you in and chat. You have some great stories. You seem like a character, personality. So I was like, let's get you on the podcast. Let's do this. So I appreciate you coming on short notice here. You're only in town for a few days. So how you liking Alaska?
It's amazing. It is truly the last frontier. So it's just magnificent seeing the mountains, real mountains. So,
yeah.
Really cool. Lots of snow, and it brings me back to my Canadian roots. I was born and raised in Canada, and then subplanted into Southern California. So I've kind of got both ends of the spectrum for sure.
For sure. Yeah, we're getting some cold weather right now too. This is abnormally cold. I mean, January is always colder, but it just feels like it shouldn't be this cold. It's like ungodly. So you're from Manitoba, correct? Whereabouts?
I was born and raised in Russell, Manitoba, which is right on the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border. A little village, about 100 people, right in the wheat and barley belt. So we're all farmers and used to getting up early and working hard and playing just as hard.
Heck yeah. Canadians are the best. I mean, I grew up playing hockey, so I was around. I played hockey in Quesnel. I don't know if I told you that in Quesnel. I played junior in Quesnel in northern British Columbia for 2 years and a year in Langley as well. And yeah, I love Canadians. I love Canada. You know, aside from some of the political stuff that goes on, I know there's some pushback on Trudeau on how he's treated this COVID thing and being a little maybe too liberal. I don't know. I don't like to talk about politics a lot on the pod here, but yeah, what's your take on the politics over there, if you don't mind? Like this Trudeau guy,
yeah, he is a piece of work.
Well, be careful, you don't want your bank account seized.
No doubt. So
you're in California, so you're safe.
But most of my family still live in Canada. Most of the people that I know are amazed that he has done what he's done and continues to stay in office. It is absolutely really sad in a lot of ways what has come to the country, and now he's really after the free speech issues, which has got a huge impact on the country. And hopefully they can get some change going in the right direction.
Good deal. Yeah, now you're in California. You've lived in California for how long?
I've been there 35 years.
35 years. So you're basically a Californian.
Correct.
By all standards. But it's a little bit crazy over there as well. I mean, depending on where you are, obviously.
Correct. So I found this little pocket of conservatism in Temecula, California, which is kind of the Napa of Southern California. We got about 55 wineries. Our family's involved in the wine business.
Oh, wow. You guys got a wine business as well.
My uncle founded Europa Village. It's a winery and resort. We have Italian, French, and Spanish wines, and
Whoa.
It's been really exciting. So, we've kind of kept the California way kind of out of our little communities, and it's been good. So so far so good.
What brought you? How do you go from Manitoba to California? And obviously, you said your uncle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he just found a piece of property there and bought it, or how'd that work?
He has always been an Eagles hang with Eagles kind of guy. Wanted to be a millionaire by the time he was 30 years old. Did it at 26.
Wow.
He's golfed the top 150 golf courses in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Climbed mountains, skied the Swiss Alps. He's just one of those alphas that really surrounds himself with overachievers, people that really do great. And he's been a great mentor to our family, just helping with us have a better understanding, doing goal boards, really envisioning things and how
manifesting.
Our mind is a very powerful tool, and it's amazing what we can meditate on and the things that can happen in our lives. So I was actually playing hockey in the WHL.
Are you playing the Dub?
Yeah, I played in the Dubs. I left at 14 to go play in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, Dauphin Kings, living in somebody's basement.
Yeah. Billet families.
Yep, billet families.
Yeah.
So left and blew my knee out when I was 18. So I really kind of didn't have a career path. I was going to be a hockey player. Or
your whole life.
Exactly. Something was going to do
I know how that
with
goes.
hockey. So blew my knee out. My sister had actually married an American baseball player that would travel in the summer times to play in our senior baseball league. So I, instead of pouting in Canada all winter with my bad knee, I decided to come to California, hang out with her for a little while. And within a couple of weeks, I seen this girl at Gold's Gym. Within a month, I told her I was going to marry her, and we'll be celebrating our 34th wedding anniversary coming up here in September. So
what a great story, man! I love that. So she's a California girl, through
correct?
And through.
Yeah, she was actually born and raised in Moab, Utah. And then
great place.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. So she's kind of a country girl. So we've been blessed and very fortunate. Two adult children, successful, and we're kind of waiting for the grandkids part of life now.
Yeah, you got a couple kids.
Correct. Yeah, I got a daughter and a son, both in their 30s. And
what do they do now?
My daughter's a realtor. She's a very successful realtor in Southern California, and my son has a sprinkler repair business. So he works doing just maintenance repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I bet that's lucrative. I mean, anything with pools or like maintenance on stuff, it's like you can like unlimited amount of work available, right?
For sure. Yeah. The winter slowed down a little bit because people don't use their sprinklers as much. So he tends to be kind of a semi-pro poker player. He plays a lot of Texas Hold'em and loves to play. He's much more ballsier than me.
Yeah, I was going to say,
cash.
I'm super risk averse. I mean, when it comes to that stuff, I don't like just losing cash. I like some calculation and, so I like to be in control of sort of my fate and not just have the cards played.
For sure. Like I'm a tournament guy. So I'm like, once I know how much I'm in and if I lose in 10 minutes or 10 hours, I'm only out that money. He's more risky.
He's going to lay it down.
Another
100, another 1,000, 10,000. Oh, gosh.
It's a crazy life.
So we can't just skip over the winery part. I think that's super interesting. I didn't know that about you. And yeah, just talk a little bit about like what you guys have going there. Are you part owner in it?
Yeah. So the family's all part. We got different levels of memberships, and that Uncle Dan was able to kind of help the family out. But basically, he just started writing things down on a napkin in the 90s, and he's one of those guys, again, write things down and make them happen. Basically, he has built a 85-acre resort. We just finished opening the Italian winery. So there's 3 huge facilities, plus we're going to be making a housing community that's going to have French village, Spanish village, and an Italian village.
Whoa.
So you basically can go to an Italian winery, have a glass of wine, hop on a little horse-drawn carriage, and then go through a community that'll be designed with custom houses that'll be French, Italian.
It'll feel like you're
correct, like you're going, and hence the Europa Village. So 3.
Ooh, what a great concept! It's way more than just a winery. Then it's a resort, like you said,
full blown resort. We got bed and breakfast. We've got wedding facilities. We're just in the process now of building an amphitheater for live concerts.
Oh wow, that would be super cool.
He is wow. He's just got this.
Does he live there? Does he live on the property?
No, he actually lives just in wine country as well. So he's very close to there, but he's got his huge custom house out in the wine country.
Wow. So it's a place right now, currently you can go there and do wine tour and you can get married there.
Yep.
My daughter's potentially getting married here soon. So we're looking for venues. So what are we talking cost here?
Absolutely. It's
in the tens of thousands, I'm guessing.
Tens of thousands. And luckily I only had one daughter. She got married in Santa Barbara at a winery called Sunstone Winery. Which was an amazing facility as well. But there's a number of different options. So depending on the size of the wedding, but it's 5-star accommodations for sure.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll come back to that. Maybe cut me a deal.
I'll get you with the right people.
No, I want to. Yeah, I love that you brought up, the manifesting, the visualization, the how your mind can really create your future. And I've kind of been dabbling the last probably 3 years with writing a lot of stuff down, doing a lot of visualization. And I got to say it's, and I just got done with one of our best business years ever. So, I think there is something there for sure. I guess, how do you think about these kind of things, and how do you implement them in your daily life as far as like getting into a habit of sort of like, giving yourself those tools and the time it takes to really get that going, like the manifestation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I have some very specific things that I do. I'm sure you've heard the admiral that did the commencement speech for the University of Texas, the 10 ways to change the world.
I haven't heard that.
And if you haven't, it's a great thing to YouTube. Just 10 ways.
Is it pretty old? Is it from 2011 or something?
I think it's about 2012 or 13 in that range.
And he was all fully geared up. I think I have seen this. I remember revisit it though, now that you bring it up.
One of the first things that he suggests is that you wake up, you drink some water so you can get rehydrated.
You make your bed.
And you make your bed.
Yes, you got something done today.
Correct.
Yes, I did hear this.
Yeah.
And I started making my bed after I saw that. I'm like, that's true. I can just make my bed, and that's a win.
For sure. And it gets your mind on creating tasks and then getting the satisfaction of completing the first task of the day. So it actually starts to get your mind moving in that
task
direction.
Oriented.
Correct.
Yes.
If at all possible, I try and get things done very quickly. So I kind of got that 2 to 3 second rule. If it's something I can move forward, connect, be that conduit, I try and get that done. And then with our goal boards, we have a variety of things. We've got some spiritual goals. We've got financial goals. We've got
physical
goals.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to do them once a year, but because this world has changed so significantly and it's moving so fast, especially since COVID, we now started to do them every 6 months.
Oh, cool.
So we basically sit down with a bunch of magazines, and if we want to go on certain types of vacations, or I want certain types of golf clubs, or we take the time and kind of write them down, take pictures. I have a bunch of these things hanging off my shaving mirror, and certain types of things, like very specific. If I want a red car with certain types of rims and that type of interior, you're
very specific about it.
So that my mind can see that red car. And it's amazing like how quickly these things come to fruition just with some really positive thinking. So I learned pretty early on that I'd rather be a half full than a half empty guy.
Yeah.
And then I also learned that I have 2 legs, and if I'm surrounded by negativity, I spin and I bolt. I just don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth to take all that on.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because some people will drown in that. They will sit in it and they'll complain about it, and they won't just get out of it. And that's a tough place to be. And I feel for people in those situations, because I'm kind of like you. I think I decided a long time ago unconsciously that I was going to be happy, positive. And I had a mom who was sort of the opposite. And so I was kind of seeing what she was doing and how, I love my mom, but she would, talk a lot of gossip about people. And I remember sitting on the counter listening to her, like, why would she say that about that person? Why would you? And it kind of got me thinking, like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be a kind person. I want to be a generous person. And, that's part of what drives me in this business as a marketer. I want to be a change maker, and a change maker in a really positive way. And I really believe that I can help businesses have positive changes, hire more great employees, that pay higher wages, and have better benefits, and get people products that really serve them. And I think, in this day and age, I think a lot of people are just trying to make money or just trying to sell something. But it's really important that you have some purpose behind that. And I think that actually gives you some really good feels inside, and whether karma is real or not, which I believe it is. It's like that's what karma is. It's like you do things for the right reasons, you put out a lot of good vibes, positive vibes, and it comes back to you eventually, hopefully. So I've been doing a lot of meditation, or trying to. It's really hard. Have you do you do a certain type of meditation?
I try, but I have to block off the time in my calendar.
Same.
And I got to just do, here's 15 minutes, no matter what noise is going on around in my world.
Yeah.
I try and shut it down and just get with it. And I always share with my kids is I'm a big believer in passing down. So I don't want them to be me. I just want them to be a better version of me.
Of you. Yeah.
So, and then their obligation is to pass down a better version of their children.
That's our job, right?
It's our really only job on this earth. And
improve every lineage, right?
Exactly. They say that technically, or the philosophy is that you should pass your inheritance to your kids' kids. So it creates a work ethic and keeps that work ethic within your family core. So every other generation,
I like that, instead of your kids.
Correct. So
you pass. So I'm probably on that route since I had kids so young, and I'm not really hitting my peak as far as career until probably in the next 5-10 years here. And I think probably at least one of my daughters will have kids, and it'll be a great time to start their college funds and buying them cars, things I never did for my own kids.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
an interesting concept. I really like it. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah, it's a really great way. And I married a preacher's kid. So my father-in-law is a pastor of our. It's just a non-denominational Christian church. So kind of had that really good foundation, that passing down throughout the course of my life. I've been really blessed on just having great mentors and people that I can,
and
just
those values and morals, a system of, that's what I love about religion is like, they really just say like, hey, treat people great. Like think of other people before yourself, right? Don't be selfish, like serve other people. And that's a great message. Not super religious personally, but I understand that, that is a big part of organized religion, at least Christianity. So, what else should we talk about?
There's just so much stuff out there. The world is so significantly changed now, and business is super exciting. Like there's so much opportunity. And I just think back of, some of the first sales that I ever had that I haven't done business with them for 30 years, but yet I pull their door whenever I'm within a block or two of their dry cleaner, and I'm,
I love this term door pulling because I hadn't heard it since I came on with Valpak and started working with you, and you refer to it as door pulling, and I love it. It makes so much sense. It's so obvious what it is, right? But like,
for sure,
cold calls, like that doesn't sound very good, but door pulling sounds exciting. I'm pulling doors. That's opportunity.
It certainly is. Yeah. Our job is to get the phone to ring or the door to swing.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Yeah, you have a huge background in sales too, right? So that's something that you've been sharing with me, and I've been listening very carefully. I haven't had any like formal sales training. I've had a couple sales coaches in my lifetime, and my past career at Skinny Raven Sports, which is a really great, especially running footwear store here in town, where I sold shoes from the age of 22 to 34. And I worked my way up from the backroom guy to selling shoes on the sales floor, which I loved, and then up to like being a buyer, and then the marketing director and events guy. But that was probably the best experience when it comes to learning the psychology of people and learning just how to sell. I think people underestimate the interactions and what you can learn from other people. And I had so many great interactions with people that were, running a marathon or training for their first marathon, or just trying to do a 5K for the first time. And helping those people was so satisfying. And it went way beyond shoes and the product. It was really about them feeling like they could do this and they can see themselves crossing the finish line. And having these goals that they could accomplish. It was huge. And I know like guys like Mark Cuban, and several other very successful people started by door to door, like they were selling things door to door. So I think if anybody out there is trying to figure out how they're going to be successful in business, just go get a sales job and start talking to people, asking them questions. And so leading into that, like, what are some of the sales tactics you use? Because it is really hard to talk to people when you haven't never met them before. You know very little about them. And this is a skill that salespeople have, is like being able to just kind of like really quickly become their friend, right? Or develop some sort of rapport. How do you do that? And sort of some of the tips you can give people out there that allows them to sort of make selling less painful, I guess. Because a lot of people think of it. I tell people that, like, I can't sell. I just feel, they think it's like some kind of gross thing. People don't realize that there's a set of people out there who want and need this product, and it's going to help them. And if you're not selling a product that has any real use, then you probably should move on. But people want and need this product, and they appreciate the persistence and the information and the help in getting that. So maybe just a little tips and tricks, whatever you can add to that, Scott. I think our audience would appreciate that.
Well, I know before, back in the day, it was kind of a spray and pray methodology. Mm-hmm. So you kind of just had to go out there and you kind of had to try a lot of different things. There wasn't the internet. There wasn't cell phones that gave you the ability to be much more
no emails,
informed.
No phones, really.
I remember the first pager that I got, and it actually would give you a little bit of the weather and the sports updates and things. And
was that the Sky pager?
Yeah, and it folded open.
Oh, I had one of those.
I'm like, I'm the coolest guy in the room.
I tried to tell people about that. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. And they didn't even have, I bought one. They didn't have the network up here to support it. So I ended up not even being able to use it.
So it's much easier now because you have the ability to kind of hone your skills. I love Mike Rowe. I think he's one of the most amazing Americans in this country. And his philosophy is just because you're passionate doesn't necessarily mean you're good at it. So get really good at this and then bring your passion with you.
Yeah.
And ultimately sales, what made it real to me was the relationships. When I really started to understand that we could all change our lives for the better, that's really where it became something that my passion took over, but I had the skill set because it was my craft. It was something just like when you have to practice to get good at anything, totally. Right? So being able just to go in there and understand what makes people tick.
Yeah.
That's kind of the motivation for me. And very rarely am I talking about the product that I'm selling. It's more about life.
Yep.
It's just having a relationship and coming across as concerned and considerate and
genuine.
Genuine is so critically important. It really makes all the difference. And there's people I've never sold anything to that I still have a relationship with. Yep. That know that, when I'm in the area, I'm going to, stop by or vice versa, texting people, birthday messages, anniversaries.
Yep.
And they haven't put a dime in my pocket or my bank account for decades, right? But that's the value. Once you kind of understand that it's more relationship based, the money is kind of the benefit at the end. That's kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak. Right?
I think people get tunnel vision too when they start to, salespeople who are inexperienced or getting into this game, they get tunnel vision with like, I got to sell this product. I have to sell this thing. And they put a lot of pressure on the sales part, but the pressure should be on what's the next micro step we can take together. Like, as you guys say, like just try to get that meeting, as Valpak says. And this has always been my goal since I started my business at Orange Slice here. It's like, I don't want to sell you on what I do or what we're doing. I just want to get a meeting with you so I can learn more about your business. I want you to talk the most. That's one thing I make sure that I'm trying not to talk. I talk a lot. Sometimes I can get on tangents. So I try to make sure that the customer or the potential customer is talking more than me initially, at least, so I can listen really well. And then I can go back and say, well, I heard you say such and such. Here's some of the things that we've done in the past and found success to resolve that issue. And that's, I think, a really important thing, is to be able to just listen and let them know you're listening, and then let them know what solutions that could potentially be connected to their problems. So that's a really important part of sales, I think, when it comes to just going out there and talking to people. It's like, try not to talk too much, right?
Yeah, my mom used to say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should be listening twice as much as we
That's a
talk.
good one.
So, and my dad used to say, if it makes sense, it'll make dollars, right? So these little things have kind of been ingrained in me as a young child, and kind of hearing those types of things. And one of the proudest things that I have is both of my kids have, just through listening to me in the car and talking on cell phone, they are amazing communicators and sellers.
Oh my gosh, I bet. Yeah.
It is just a really neat thing to see. And again, passing down, take the good parts, and you can change and be malleable. And it's just exciting to help people in general. Yep. Again, like I said, the relationships, my wife ended up being the bridesmaid at one of my customers' weddings, right? Just developed a relationship. And it's like, how did that happen when I was just trying to, sell you some advertising? And then all of a sudden we have these lifelong relationships.
Yep.
And that's really where
well, I'll tell you what, my time at Skinny Raven, as I said before, between 2003 and 2015, I met a lot of people and I helped a lot of people multiple times, their families. I was fitting their kids from age, 3 to 16, So I also attribute that to helping me build my network that helped me launch into my next career after that, which was being the marketing director for a local coffee roaster, Kaladi Brothers. And then after that, starting my own business. And a lot of those relationships I had from those previous careers, I reached out to those people when I started this business to say, hey, can I get some advice? I'm starting this new business. And guess what? A lot of those people turned into my clients.
For sure.
Hey, Trent Taylor from Tailored Restoration, great guy, has a restoration business for floods, fires, and mold remediation, works with insurance a lot. And he was one of those guys. I just texted him, hey man, I'm starting this business. I'd really love your advice. He's been doing it for a long time. And I really, truly did want his advice. And I started talking to him about what I was doing after, I asked him a bunch of questions and he was like, hey, I think we're ready to switch marketing companies. We're paying these guys this much. I don't think they're doing much. Let's talk about it. So I think that's a really great tip for anybody out there that's trying to sell things. Leverage your network first and leverage them not for sales, but for information, and get as close as you can to people that are in the industry you want to be in. There's something called the proximity principle, where you can, if you want to work in the film industry, go hold a fucking microphone. Go find a job, the lowest level. Go find the job where you're just making coffee for the actors. And that's going to be where you're going to find the opportunities within. And I think people just don't know where to start, period. And I think using the proximity principle, and I think there's a guy who wrote a book that was called Proximity Principle. It's Ken something. As part of the who's the guy? Dave Ramsey. Do you listen to the Dave Ramsey guy?
No, I'm not familiar.
He's like a financial guru helping like individuals and families understand credit and things like that. But he's very religion. He's Christian based. But Dave Ramsey's he has a whole network of people, and this guy had this whole proximity principle. He helps people find their career through their passion and their what they're good at. So you're combining like what you're good at, like you were saying, like, yeah, you're passionate about whatever, hockey, but can you really have a career as a hockey player? Not many people can, but you got to combine it with what you're good at, right? Like, oh, I'm good at talking to people and I love to, develop relationships, so that's a great combination. But yeah, for anybody out there looking to get into an industry, marketing, whether it's, whatever it is, just get as close as you can, find the lowest level job in that area, and then you'll start to see the opportunities and understand better what that industry looks like. So, yeah, I think it's time to probably talk a little bit about Valpak. I think Valpak, for those who don't know, it's a direct mail marketing platform. Like all the other platforms we know of Google as a platform to get a message out. We know of Facebook and Meta is a platform to get messages out. There's a handful of platforms, that people use on a regular basis. And to me, as owning a marketing agency here in Alaska and seeing how much noise there is on the digital side, it's a little bit discouraging, I think, to talk to sit down with a client and be like, hey, we can do this for you. We're going to run digital ads. It's like, how many freaking digital ads can we run? How long is it going to take before people just tune it out? And I think a lot of people already have. So I think it leads into basically like, what are you seeing on the direct mail side and the benefits of direct mail?
So in general, COVID took out a lot of bad businesses. So if they weren't operating well, then they're gone. So it's not our job to fix bad businesses. We're really going after the best quality brands. And the mailbox has become significantly more valuable than it was before. So, you probably haven't heard the word junk mail for several years now, and you don't need two hands and your foot to pull it out of the mailbox because it's wound in there so tight. So all those smaller companies, Nifty Nickels and Penny Pinchers and the home mags and the realtor mags are all gone. Yep. So the mailbox is much more desirable, and that became a meeting place for people with COVID. The neighbors kind of had to stand 6 feet apart and
everybody's out. My mailbox personally, in one of the few neighborhoods in Anchorage, it's like by my door. So I don't have the street mailbox. Like the mail guy actually has to walk up to my door and put it in the mailbox next to my door. There's only a couple neighborhoods who have that, but I guess like if you were, I would be standing out there, maybe checking their mail in the morning. We're not doing shit today.
Exactly.
Everything's shut down.
For sure. And now there's so much less mail in that box. So, the average is about 3 pieces of mail per day.
Yeah.
86% of Americans are checking it at their first opportunity. And then it's a more positive experience because all of your bills are in your email box, not on your mailbox.
They're on auto pay.
Yeah,
I set it and forget it,
So it has really gave a tremendous opportunity for companies like ours. So pre-COVID, we were at 37 million homes monthly. We're at 41 million homes monthly. So we've grown 4 million circulation per month just because we've had a captive audience. People were in their house. They were tired of their garage door, or they were tired of the carpet or the paint. So we really had kind of a captive audience. So our product has really been well received. And then we're not a hypocritical marketing company. We really believe in using Fortune 500 partners on the outside of the envelope. We got a great promotion with Wendy's coming out with a bunch of great offers on the outside of the envelope.
Yep, that should be coming out this week.
This week out in mailboxes, randomly putting in $100 checks into the envelope to encourage more people to get inside there. So,
and like you said, really good businesses, number one, is like the big push. It's like, we're not looking for the shit bottom feeder or bottom of the barrel businesses. These are really good businesses that are featured not just on the outside, but on the inside locally. You can find really great restaurants, really great deals on restaurants that locally. You can find the handyman services that are very reputable, the tree services, the landscaping, the lawn, whatever it is in the Valpak. It's funny because Anchorage only has 90,000 I think homes we sent to, which is a lot, considering, I don't know, we're 700,000 people, most of which live in Anchorage and Wasilla. But yeah, 41 million, that's crazy, like homes it goes into.
For sure. And again, not everybody can get into Valpak. We want to make sure that we're connecting the community, the local community. We're targeting the people that kind of the birds of a feather flock together. So Valpak's been in business 53 years, going on our 53rd year.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. And we are very data analytic driven.
I tell people that. I say this is a data company first, and then it's a direct mail company because you guys have some of the most in-depth data that I've ever seen, and it's at your fingertips basically. And that's not something that I as a business owner would normally have access to. So that is really important, and that allows business owners to target specific audiences based on either location or what they're selling. Like you talked a little bit about dentists yesterday, like, hey, where are the people with bad teeth at? Let's target that neighborhood.
Yep. And then those birds of a feather flock together. So our philosophy is to connect you with a good quality experience. And then those people going out and telling their other rich friends about your great dentist practice or your great pizza or dry cleaner or roofing company. So really some strategic philosophies into how we make these things happen. What we found is people like to touch print. So,
It's tactile.
It's tactile. They read the expiration dates, they hold on to it, they flip it over, they stick it on their fridge, they put it in their garage door.
And this is why I tell people, because people will be like, oh, I just throw that away. Well, I'm like, they tell me, like, I open it up and I look through it. And so when it comes to impressions, and that's a big thing in digital marketing, right? It's like, oh, how many impressions you get? Somebody actually held your brand, looked at it, read your offers, and maybe it was for concrete coating or a tree service or something else that you didn't need at the moment. But guess what? You hit them on the Valpak a couple times, they see it a couple times. Then 3 months later, they're like, oh shit, I need this specific service. Oh yeah, let's get those guys over here.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's not even about necessarily the offer always. It's just about people seeing your brand and becoming aware of what you do. And then when it's time, then they give you the shout.
Yep. I use the term that print drives an action and a redemption. The digital reinforces branding and messaging, and they both work better together. And just kind of using some metrics of overall, is business better after you start doing Valpak 90 days from now and 6 months from now? And if it is, that's what our goal is, to not drive somebody that's motivated by coupons, but somebody that's motivated by great service.
Yep.
And they tip better, and your staff will stay longer. So it's really being able to find those good quality houses using data and analytics to be better connoisseurs of your budget.
That's an important point, because I think we need to bring that up, because we're not just targeting 99503 or a specific zip code. These are vetted 10,000 home areas that are actually vetted by home income and home value, among other things. So these aren't just, apartment buildings or trailer parks. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's important to know that these people are getting sent this because they have that disposable income. They can afford it. And I think that's something that people don't understand. They just think it's like just blanketed mailings. What are some of the other products that we can talk about for Valpak? Besides, I think everybody's pretty aware of the blue envelope, I think. Although when I talk about it, sometimes people are like, what is it? And I'm like, the blue envelope. They're like, I think I know what you're talking about. But that is the number one product. It is the least expensive, or, the least amount of money you could pay to get into people's mailboxes. It's, depending on where you are in the country, buying Valpak is like 4 to 6 cents a house.
Yep.
So
2019, we started to launch our standalone postcard product. That has been by far the number one launch of any product that we have done. So we really have gotten into the postcard game as far as the same Valpak footprint, utilizing the higher demographic, high owner occupancy, single family dwellings that match the blue envelope. So now you can have a standalone piece if there's no Valpak branding on it anywhere. We also got into the life event type of
this is
product.
Really cool.
So you can have different females having birthdays, males having birthdays, people that are just moving or buying homes. So you can
send postcards specific to someone's birthday month, and it could say like, happy birthday, enjoy 20% off a limo ride, or 20% off a piece of furniture, or whatever it is, or just happy birthday, and make it an impression on them.
For sure. And be able to kind of have a new fresh list every month. We're able to extrapolate that data, so we know how, by zip code, how many people are moving into the area, how many people are having 1-year anniversaries, how many people are aging into Medicare. So we have some really good life event opportunities. Again,
there's one too that's related to home insurance. So you can target people whose home insurance is expiring the following month, right?
Yep. We can touch them before they have to re-sign the policy. So again, very strategic in everything that we're doing. It is a single impression touch, so we do surround it with other products, either the +1 postcard and or the blue envelope, so that, again, you're dominating that mailbox. So when people are willing and able, that brain recall, they may not know that you're Bob's Pizza, but they know that the pizza guy's in there, and they'll go and find you.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. I think that people probably don't know about those products. And I think it's a really great way to keep top of mind for a lot of businesses who maybe aren't just like always like pizza, right? It's like, oh, we're going to get pizza every Friday, but for dental work and things like that, people need to be aware of some of the other businesses out there. What's your plan here in the future? What do you got going? I think you've had a long career.
Correct.
You talk about the years at Valpak being like dog years. What does that mean?
Well,
it's gone fast.
Yes, it's gone very fast. And once you get in the game, it's kind of you're a glutton for punishment. So we kind of all recycle.
I'm a goaltender, so tell me about it.
Oh, no
I love
doubt,
getting hit with pucks.
No doubt. So yeah, it's exciting because we're moving pretty quickly as a society. Things are changing, obviously, very quickly. There's still going to be that need for people like us to really help small and medium businesses navigate through. There's going to be a tremendous desire by these companies to find out what's kind of next. And I think more and more are looking to us to provide that conduit to give them some hope, right? Some confident expectation that at the end of the year, we're going to be doing better than we did the year before.
For sure.
So I think direct mails are going to continue to really flourish.
It's funny, yeah, because I think there's a lot of there's a faction of people obviously who are like environmentalists, and they think like, oh, print is dead, like this is evil, it's killing trees, which obviously paper comes from tree. There's also a lot of alternatives and a lot of ways you can be really environmentally friendly with printing, but I talk about environmental companies. I just got a postcard from Patagonia in the mail this week talking about their sale. So they're the companies that are in the know and understand that direct mail is how powerful it really is, and how you can get above that digital sort of like fake kind of like synthetic messaging and give people something to hold in their hand and put on their fridge. And and mind you, all these things for Valpak, we can put a QR code that tracks. So for results, we can actually track it. We can track phone calls. We can get a specific phone number that's local on there that helps us track phone calls. So there is tracking. Also, we didn't bring up the informed mail. I think every time I bring up informed mail, I'm surprised about how many people haven't heard of it. And I know it's not available in everybody's area, but if you aren't signed up for informed mail, go to USPS and get yourself signed up. Just click on the informed mail sign up tab, because that's where you can kind of see what's coming in your mail. It's the only piece of email I get that I open 100% of the time. Personally, I think it probably has an open rate of in the high 80%, I would guess.
It is in the 70% for specifically ours. And about 4,000 to 5,000 of the 10,000 that we're mailing to are already signed up for informed delivery. So again, it's a great way with that multi-impression. You hit them in their email in the morning and their mailbox in the afternoon. So just being able to be as many places as possible. So when there's a need, they know that you're open, ready for business, and willing to serve them when there's a desire.
Yeah. So Valpak does exist on the digital side. It's just more strategic, is what I would say. It's more strategic in terms of where it shows up, and there's a lot less noise where it shows up in that email where people are looking at like, oh, there's my Valpak. Yeah, I'm getting excited about that. Yeah, that's fantastic. What else do we got?
Well, we're super excited to have you guys as partners, and
Valpak Alaska's here, man.
And it's been here for many decades. So it's one of the longest standing franchises 1986, in the entire company.
Mary brought it up here. Shout out to Mary Bellinger, who brought the Valpak franchise to Alaska almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And ran a great business for that time, and sold it to us to keep. And she sold it to us. She told us, she was like, I've just been looking for the right people to sell it to, and you guys are it. I think you guys can really make this go. And she was actually, she was selling in just to mostly the accounts, the clients that were just buying from her every single mailing. And I think it's important for people to know that, like, in the coming Valpaks, the mailings, you guys are going to see a bunch of really new businesses, really cool high-end businesses that have been in Alaska for a long time doing cool things, and make sure you guys keep your eyes on your mailbox.
Absolutely. Random checks for $100.
Random checks in there for $100. Yeah, there is so much to talk about with this stuff. We can go on forever, I know, but we're kind of running up on time here, Scott. And I know you're only in town here for a few more days, so we're gonna get you out to Girdwood, I think. We're gonna watch some hockey tonight. Maybe pull some doors today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We're gonna have fun. It's always fun talking to you, Scott, and I really appreciate you taking the time to just come on the podcast. I just asked you sort of like last night, I think at 8 o'clock after I got out of the steam shower because it was so cold. I had to take a steam when I got home, but I was like thinking in the shower, I'm like, Scott would be great on the podcast. Let's have him on. And these things have been getting easier. It was pretty painful, like the first 4 or 5 I did. I had all my stuff in front of me, like did a bunch of research, and I think that doesn't work as well. I think it needs to be more organic and authentic, and you've definitely brought that. And I really appreciate the time, like I said, you coming on and just coming up to Alaska. I mean, you travel 42 weeks a year, like you said. You're on the road. You're a road warrior, man.
Road warrior.
Yeah.
You get pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So.
You seem like you're just like, boom, you get in, you get your bearings, you get your room, you got where'd you eat last night? Did you go to a good restaurant?
I went to Bernie's Bungalow.
Oh, how was it?
It was amazing. So I've eaten there twice now.
What are they, just sushi?
No, I had the chicken curry. That was insane. So good.
I never eat there. I need to go there more.
They had short rib tacos.
What?
They had goza. That was amazing.
Okay.
I'm literally probably going to eat there every day now.
No, there's more places to eat. Know. We ate at Originale yesterday, which is a great, authentic Italian place. I think it's probably one of the few like Italian sandwich shops in Anchorage. I would say probably the only one. But yeah, we tried to eat at Club Paris yesterday. Apparently you needed reservations for lunch. We're not in LA here.
Yeah, no doubt, huh?
It's not that fancy.
Exactly.
Anyways, yeah, we'll wrap this up. Any last words you want to share with people? Or?
Well, I would just highly recommend see what's out there. There's so much opportunity and there's so many great relationships. Surround yourself by overachievers. Put some thought to how you want your life to be, and it's amazing how powerful your mind is. And surround yourself with a team of overachievers and let them be great at what they are great at, and you be great at you. And life is pretty amazing when you live it half full.
Absolutely. Well, you're an inspiration, Scott. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.